Hello there you guys, welcome to another of my videos. Is Man United's Premier League title challenge already over? We've had a couple of disappointing results recently. We drew with Arsenal 0-0 and we lost to Sheffield United 2-1 at Old Trafford. We are second in the Premier League. We're 3 points behind Manchester City, but Manchester City do have a game in hand. And we have been struggling against the big six sides in the Premier League this season. Obviously, we drew 0-0 with Arsenal recently, drew 0-0 with Chelsea, drew 0-0 with City, drew 0-0 with Liverpool, drew with Leicester 2-2, lost 6-1 to Tottenham. And people say if you are genuine title contenders, you've got to beat the big teams, or at least some of the big teams. And I think we need to make more signings as well to be genuine title contenders. But I have said to you, haven't I, throughout the course of this season, that I'm very sceptical Man United will win the title. But we will win another title at some point, maybe next season, maybe the next couple of seasons. We haven't won the Premier League since 2013. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer knows how imperative it is to get his first trophy on the board as Man United manager. We haven't won a trophy for just over 4 years now. We can win the FA Cup. We are into the 5th round of that. The Europa League, that's also a chance of a trophy. I think Solskjaer faces an uncertain future at Manchester United. I'm still not sure if he is the long-term manager for Man United. But I think Solskjaer is going to be given at least another season at the football club. This is his second full season at the moment. Solskjaer's been Manchester United manager for over 2 years. I am still Ole in at the moment. Couple of disappointing results ain't going to change my perception on him. Solskjaer has made good progress in the last year or so. I think Man United deserve credit for sticking with him, because he could have easily been sacked as Man United manager, because we have endured bad periods under him. There has been no discussions yet over getting him a new contract at the club. Solskjaer has like 18 months left on his current contract. We have been very, very good away from home in the Premier League. We haven't lost away from home in the Premier League for over a year. We are unbeaten in our last 18 Premier League away games. Don't forget, we was unbeaten in 13 Premier League games until Sheffield United had beaten us. We've been very, very poor at Old Trafford this season. I think we've lost 5 games now at Old Trafford in the Premier League this season. So what we've been doing away, we haven't replicated that at home. My biggest concern about Solskjaer, like I've said so many times, is his decision making. Because in a lot of games at Manchester United, he's been tactically naive, but there's also been some games where he has showed tactical flexibility, so he's got to show tactical flexibility persistently. There's a few things he's got to do at the club. Not only that, I think he's got to identify his best 11. He's got to start playing Donny van de Beek more. There's a few things that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has got to do, but reflecting now on his being at the club, he's gained some managerial experience and he's learned quite a bit on the job. Man United is the third club in his managerial career. Before he came to us, he was at Molde, won a few Norwegian titles at Molde, but they're not a big club. And before Molde, he was at Cardiff, and his record at Cardiff was absolutely disastrous. We appointed Solskjaer in December 2018 to replace Mourinho. Obviously, Solskjaer came in as the interim manager at the first. Obviously, he was the interim manager for 3 months. Did very, very well in that 3-month period. And that's the main explanation why we're giving him the job permanently back in March 2019. A lot of United fans do believe that we did give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer the job too early. But don't forget, Mauricio Pochettino was once the favourite to replace Solskjaer. Pochettino was actually the favourite to take over at Man United after Jose Mourinho got sacked. But I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does deserve credit because, he has got us to the FA Cup 5th round. He got us to the EFL Cup semi-final earlier on this season. We lost that to Man City 2-0. But Man City are a good team. A lot of people now believe they're going to win the league, and City are very, very good in the EFL Cup. City have won it for the last 3 seasons. They've reached their 4th consecutive League Cup final. You've got to give credit to Solskjaer for what he did last season because he got us 3rd place, 2nd highest we've finished since the Sir Alex Ferguson era. He got us qualification for the Champions League, and he guided us to 3 semi-finals. I think Solskjaer has made good signings as Man United manager. He's spent over £200 million at the club. In the summer of 2019, he recommended Daniel James and Wan-Bissaka and Harry Maguire in. In January of last year, he brought Bruno Fernandes in and Odion Ighalo in. And in the summer transfer window of last year, he brought Donny van de Beek in, Alex Telles, Edinson Cavani, Facundo Pellistri and Amad Diallo Traore. Obviously, last summer he brought 4 of them players on deadline day. And we have seen a lot of players depart the club since Solskjaer got recommended in. Now, quite a few players have left us in this January window. Obviously, Jesse Lingard, he went out on loan to West Ham. Odion Ighalo said his farewells to the club not so long ago. I think he's going to Saudi Arabia, by the way. Timothy Fosu-Mensah left the club to join Bayer Leverkusen earlier on this month. We just recently loaned Facundo Pellistri out. And obviously we've seen a lot of other players go in the other transfer windows that Solskjaer's enjoyed. Obviously we've seen the likes of Lukaku leave, Herrera leave, Sanchez leave, Fellaini leave, Angel Gomez leave, Young leave, Valencia leave, Smalling leave, Darmian leave. We've also loaned quite a few young players out. So yeah, you got to give Ole Gunnar Solskjaer credit. Now, it is deadline day today. There could be more players leaving Manchester United. Now, I think Marcus Rojo is set to leave the club. last time I read up, it said that he was on the verge of joining Boca Juniors. Rojo has not made an appearance for us since November 2019. I think Rojo's got a calf problem at the moment. Rojo's been at Man United 6.5 years because we got him from Sporting Lisbon back in 2014. By the way, I think we have terminated his contract. I think Romero could also leave because Solskjaer confirmed that he's free to leave in this January window because he said his contract won't be extended, and Romero is our third choice goalkeeper. Will Phil Jones leave? Because Phil Jones is obviously part of the Deadwood. Brandon Williams, there has been narratives of him going out on loan. Maybe Brandon Williams is going to stay with us. Williams is our third choice left back following the arrival of Alex Telles. Solskjaer has made his decision on Daniel James. I think Daniel James is going to be staying at the club because there has been narratives of him possibly leaving because Daniel James has lost his place in the team. And I think more players could leave Man United in the summer. But yeah, Solskjaer said earlier on this month that, fringe players could leave before the window shuts. But he did say that we're not expecting any signings. So during this January transfer window, we've been focusing a lot more on the outgoings rather than the incomings. We only bought one player in this month, and that was Amad Diallo Traore. Well, we actually agreed to get Amad Diallo Traore last October, but it was official earlier on this month. We got him in a deal worth £37 million with add-ons included. We paid £19 million up front. Solskjaer said it won't be too long now until he's in the first team. He recently made his debut at Amad Diallo Traore for the under-23s. Against Liverpool, it was 6-3 and he scored twice in that game. So he's taken Jesse Lingard's place. This January transfer window has been Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's fourth transfer window as permanent Man United manager. By the way, Ed Woodward has instructed Ole Gunnar Solskjaer to sell as many as 3 players to free up funds for a new centre-back. I do believe that Solskjaer has been let down in the transfer market again. I don't think he's been backed enough in all the transfer windows he has enjoyed so far as Man United manager. And the board has been one of the biggest problems at the club for several years, reflecting how poor our recruitment policy's been. We've also overpaid for players. And the board haven't backed any of the managers enough that we've had since Ferguson retired. Woodward's been at the club since 2012. The Glazers have been at the football club since 2005. So I think the summer transfer window, Woodward must back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Woodward has come out several times to show his support for Solskjaer. Even come out a few times when we enjoyed them bad periods under Solskjaer, saying that Solskjaer's job is safe at the club. Because like I said, our board have got a soft stance on Solskjaer with him being a club legend and that. But yeah, Woodward's promised that he will back him. Woodward did say towards the end of last year that he will back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer with a long-term plan centred around summer transfer windows. I've given you the 3 areas where I think Man United need to strengthen up. I think we need a striker, we need a world-class midfielder, and we also need a centre-half. Now, you already know the news on Sergio Ramos from Real Madrid. Sergio Ramos is prepared to leave Real Madrid in the summer. He will be available on a free transfer. Sergio Ramos recently rejected a new 2-year deal from Real Madrid. Ramos wants to join Manchester United. Ramos has been at Real Madrid for a long time. I think he's been there now like 16 years. He's made over 600 appearances for Real Madrid in all competitions. He's won 22 major honours. Real Madrid paid around €27 million for him from Sevilla back in 2005. Ramos is 34, so if we did get him, he only would be short term. But I think he'd go very, very well alongside Harry Maguire in our back line. PSG were regarded as the favourites to get Ramos, but he doesn't fancy a move to PSG. I think Florentino Perez, the Real Madrid president, actually urged him to go to PSG. And apparently, Jules Koundé is Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's number one transfer target for the summer. This is what is told Ed Woodward. Jules Koundé is a defender. He plays for Sevilla. I give you the news on him yesterday. He's valued at around £60 million. His performances for Sevilla have been outstanding this season. Sevilla paid £22 million for him from Bordeaux around 18 months ago. He's got a contract with Sevilla till 2024, and he is only the age of 22, so he has got a lot of development in him. You know the news on Ousmane Dembele. He says we are preparing to make a move for him in the summer. So too Jadon Sancho, but we're only going to sign one of them. That's if we do sign Jadon Sancho or Ousmane Dembele. Now, it said the other week that we were monitoring Ousmane Dembele's contract situation at Barcelona. It said Chelsea were as well. And it said contract talks had stalled. But now it's saying Ousmane Dembele wants to stay at Barcelona and he's open to a new deal. My element of concern about Ousmane Dembele is that he is injury prone, sustained quite a few injuries at Barcelona. Ousmane Dembele has been at Barcelona a few years. He's got a contract with them till 2022. Barcelona got him in a deal worth £135 million from Dortmund back in 2017. Obviously, with add-ons included, I think Barca paid, £90 million up front. Liverpool have been interested in Ousmane Dembele. But yeah, he's still young, Ousmane Dembele. He's still got a hell of a lot of development in him. If he came to the Premier League, do you think he'd exceed expectations in the Premier League? And as you know, Jadon Sancho, he was our number one priority target last summer. But Borussia Dortmund's valuation was £108 million. We was not willing to meet that valuation. So the actual fee was a stumbling block, but said a few times last summer that the personal terms had been agreed and the agent fees had been agreed. Even a contract had been agreed. Fabrizio Romano, who's a very reliable Italian journalist, he's spoken a lot about the Jadon Sancho transfer saga. So too was billed Christian Falk. But Dortmund made it clear to us last summer that we had until the 10th of August to sign the player. We obviously missed out on that deadline, so Sancho remained at Dortmund. Dortmund are expecting Sancho to leave though in the summer. I think Dortmund are going to be forced to lower their demands because it recently said from Sport 1 that Dortmund are relying on Jadon Sancho's sale. It said Dortmund were expecting losses of around £88 million because of the coronavirus pandemic. Earlier on this season, Sancho made an admission saying that he has enjoyed a difficult season at Dortmund, and the Borussia Dortmund CEO explained why, because he was expected to join us last summer. I think this is Sancho's fourth season at Dortmund. Analysing the vast majority of his career at Dortmund, he's been very consistent. He's got a contract with Dortmund till 2023. Dortmund paid just £8 million for him from Man City back in 2017. Declan Rice in recent weeks has been on our agenda as well. He's certainly a player I would take at Man United. Rice is still young, got a lot of development in him. Well Premier League proven. Breaks up the play well because he's predominantly a holding midfielder. So there you go. But despite us having 2 disappointing results recently, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, you can say, has been bringing the old Man United back. Because obviously, disregarding them 2 games recently, the performances have been good. Key players have been in form. And we have been getting glimpses of the Sir Alex Ferguson era. Like I've said, no one's going to replicate Sir Alex Ferguson's legacy at Man United, and no one's going to last as long as he did. Ferguson endured 27 years at the club, won a total of 38 major honours, including 13 Premier League titles, but Ferguson didn't settle in straight away because he didn't win out in his first 4 years at Manchester United. So like I've said, it does take some managers time to settle in. We was so inconsistent for so long, up until this point under Solskjaer. Obviously, before Ferguson came into the equation, we was also inconsistent because we weren't good under Ron Atkinson, weren't good under Franco Fowler, and we weren't that good under Wilf McGuinness. Solskjaer is our 4th permanent manager since Ferguson. 3 managers have been sacked since Ferguson, and that was Moyes. Sacked him after 10 months. He enjoyed the shortest tenure at the club and will finish 7th under the Moyes era. We sacked Louis van Gaal after 2 years, despite him winning the FA Cup. And we sacked Jose Mourinho after 2.5 years, despite him winning the Europa League, the League Cup and the Community Shield in his first season. I already given you the reasons why it didn't work out under Mourinho, is because Mourinho had bad disputes with the board, bad disputes with the top players, such as Pogba, Shaw, Rashford and all of that. And the board just weren't backing the signings that I wanted to recommend him, because Mourinho made it clear to our board in the summer of 2018 that he wanted to recommend a centre-half in. We're not even really known as a sacking football club. Mistakes have been made since Ferguson left, and that's one of the main explanations why, we was so inconsistent for so long. Yeah. Our next game is Southampton at Old Trafford. That is tomorrow night. That is a must-win game for us. So like I've said, we are winless in our last 2 league games. The last time Southampton beat us was 5 years ago. They beat us 1-0 at Old Trafford back in January 2016. So we haven't lost to Southampton in our last 9 meetings with them. So we've got a good record against them. Obviously, the game at Old Trafford last season was 2-2. We beat Southampton earlier on this season at St Mary's. We overcame a 2-goal deficit and won 3-2. Southampton have lost their last 3 league games. They lost to Aston Villa. They lost to Arsenal. And they also lost to Leicester. So they have been in a bad vein of form recently. But they have made good progress under Ralph Hasenhüttl, to be fair. Last time I looked, it said Southampton were 11th. They were good earlier on in the season, Southampton as well. Southampton were also very consistent when they had Mauricio Pochettino. Mauricio Pochettino only enjoyed a short tenure with Southampton, but he still guided Southampton to their highest ever finish in the Premier League. I think it was 8th. Southampton, though, like I said, I've got some good players in their team. Now, Danny Ings, he's one of their key players. They've got Stuart Armstrong, one of their key players. Nathan Redmond's one of their key players. Obafemi's one of their key players. He's out with injury. Bednarek, he's one of their key players. They've got Shane Long. Yeah, they've got Shane Long. They've got James Ward-Prowse, one of their key players. Ryan Bertrand, I like him a lot. He's their left back. They've got Che Adams as well. Obviously, Southampton have got that Vestergaard. He's out with injury. They've got that Kyle Walker-Peters. He's out with injury. Salisu, he's out with injury. Teller, he's out with injury. Smallbone, they've got him out for the season. Southampton have let quite a few players go in recent years. Don't forget they lost Cedric Soares, they lost Holberg, they lost Charlie Austin. They loaned Mario Lemina out, they lost Virgil van Dijk. They lost Klein, they lost Lovren. They lost Adam Lallana, they lost Sadio Mane. Like I said to you, Liverpool have done good business with Southampton in recent years. After Southampton, we do play Everton, and that's going to be another tough game against Everton. I'll give you my starting 11 prediction now. I think we could line up against Southampton, by the way. I've already gone through with you on that. De Gea in goal, and Wan-Bissaka. 2 centre-halves, Bain, Harry Maguire. Left back, Luke Shaw. Midfield, Fred and Matic. On the left-hand side, Paul Pogba. Number 10, Bruno Fernandes. On the right, Marcus Rashford. And up top, Edison Cavani. There is a lot of players that we are going to keep at the football club, as well as sell, like I've already gone through with you. Obviously, we're going to keep Rashford. I think Rashford's a foreseeable future for Man United. He has been a bit out of form recently, but he's still a very, very good player, is Rashford, isn't he? I think we'll keep Anthony Martial for at least this season. Martial has been criticised because he has been out of form this season, to be fair. He's had his chances, but he hasn't converted them. A lot of United fans are saying, Martial does need to be dropped. Obviously, we'll keep Edison Cavani. Cavani will see out his contract at the club because Cavani's made an impact since he's come in. I think we'll also keep Mason Greenwood. I think he's a foreseeable future for Man United. Mason Greenwood hasn't played as much, though, as I expected this season. But don't forget, earlier on in the season, he had, personal issues. He had injury at one point and he was out with illness. And Ollie's been defending him a lot this season. We'll obviously keep Bruno Fernandes. I think he's a foreseeable future for Man United. It was recently Bruno Fernandes' 1 year anniversary at the club. He's been a bit out of form though recently, Bruno Fernandes. He hasn't been performing to his usual standard. Paul Pogba, we could keep him potentially past the summer. There is still a chance though he will leave Man United in the summer. Don't forget, Fabrizio Romano recently said that a transfer away from Man United for Pogba is still on the cards, because he said that Minio Raiola has been planning for a move for Paul Pogba in the summer. Fred, I think we'll also keep him because he's improved under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. McTominay would also keep him. I've got my reservations about him though. He can have good games when he wants to. Donny van der Beek, obviously we're going to keep him for now. Maybe he'll leave in the summer. Donny van der Beek's not getting enough opportunities at Manchester United. Don't forget Solskjaer's promised Donny van der Beek more game time at the club, because he said prior to the game against Liverpool in the Cup that Donny van der Beek is unhappy at Man United with his lack of game time. We'll keep Luke Shaw because Luke Shaw's really improving. Defensively he's been good and he's getting forward well. and he's getting in good positions and he's creating some chances for his teammates. My only element of concern about Luke Shaw is that he's injury prone. We'll obviously keep Tellez. Tellez hasn't played as much as I expected. I thought when Tellez come in, he would have been our first choice left back immediately, but Luke Shaw still remains our first choice left back. Looking like we're going to keep James for now, like Solskjaer's confirmed. Daniel James. We'll keep Harry Maguire. He's had good games this season. We'll keep Bailly, despite him being injury prone, because since Bailly started playing again, he's been very impressive. And Wan-Bissaka will also keep him. He's improving. De Gea will keep him. He'll remain our number one for at least this season. So yeah. So anyway guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.